Hi, my name is Dan, and this is my channel Engelgeist. So this is my first pick a card for Twin Flames. I decided to do it in February, right before Valentine's Day, because I thought that it would be an appropriate time to do one. What I've chosen is I've created four piles here. I'll just get out my trusty pointer. I have the first pile, which is a key. The second pile, which is a rose quartz heart. The third pile, which is my grandmother's wedding ring, to be honest. And the fourth pile, which is my uh, watch, which has the little prince on it. He's rather magical, if you guys know the story of the little prince. So it's my little prince watch. And so those are your four piles. I would like you to sort of maybe pause the video if you feel the need, um, and take a deep breath. See which pile is pulling your attention or drawing you in towards it. Ask your intuition, ask your heart. This would be a great time to ask your heart chakra where it's automatically drawn to, and then that would be your pile that we would look at. Now, the concept or my intention for this reading is for those of you that believe in twin flames or that might be in the twin flame relationship. These are supposed to be groupings of cards that will help to assist you to facilitate either the creation or the betterment of that relationship, if that makes sense, right? So if you are dating somebody that you feel as though might potentially be your twin flame, hopefully these cards will give you guidance as to whether or not they are or are not, or what you need to maybe do within that relationship to deepen it or make it more strong, enhance it. That's sort of the concept behind this, okay? It's so it's kind of like it's not necessarily geared for people that already have the relationship. It's just, if it's, the relationship is out there for you. Also, if the relationship is, if you're already in it, how can you sort of better enhance the relationship? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But that's what I kind of like concentrated on and was my attention and my focus as I was shuffling the cards with and talking to spirit. So please pause the video if you'd like to take a breath and choose the pile wisely. I would suggest maybe only choosing one because twin flames are a pretty heady subject. I wouldn't go hog wild and choose a bunch because you may get cross mixed messages and you don't really want that in something quite as serious as a twin flame situation. Please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell so you'll get notified when I do these again. If you like these, leave me a comment below and I'll continue to do them for you. This is my first one, so we'll see how well it goes. So I'm going to start with pile one now. Timestamps will be included later once the video is fully uploaded and on YouTube, and you guys can check there, or you can watch all the way through if you'd like. So we're going to start with pile one. So we have pile number one. You guys chose the key. I've used this key before in pick a cards. I love this key. It's just really ornate and beautiful, and I just thought it was really romantic looking. So the way that I chose to do this is I'm going to sort of set out the cards. I chose to do three tarot cards from the Lover's Path. And so this will give us a sense of the sort of overall relationship, what's going on between the two of you. Then I chose a card from Notes on Connection with the Universe, which is about the universe and how your environment is interacting with this relationship. I chose a Moonology card because this sort of factored into um, the planets and are they aligned? Are we twin flaming up? Are we really connecting? So I felt like that sort of energy also needed to be acknowledged. And then this is from the Lover's Path, which will show where our heart is at. This is from the breakup deck, which will show where our head may be at. And this last card is from the vibrational energy deck, and I'll get to that last. That's just the overall energy of your guys' connection. Where are you vibrating at? So now I'm going to go through these cards, starting with the tarot cards, and tell you what I see for this group. So my group one, let me move this over a little bit. Do this. So your first tarot card is the Four of Staves. This is the Four of Wands. We have a beautiful married couple here. This is lovely, right? There's stability here. There's union happening. There really is a connection amongst the two of you at a very sort of passionate spiritual level. So this group, to me, that romantic key definitely ties into this. I love the garland, and then we have all of the wrapping of the garland here. To me, I feel like there is a definite stability, this being a four, and it being the Wands card. It speaks to the idea of spiritual strength, spiritual connection. It's definitely clear in there. Some of you may already be married. I love that these two are in a union. So you may already be. I get a feeling that this group might already know who your twin flame is. That's what this card indicates to me. But as I'm looking at this, there is a definite strong stability and a spiritual connection. Let's go to the next card. This is contemplation. And this is, I think this is sort of like the hermit to me when I look at this card. I believe that this is utilized as the hermit in here. So I feel like when I'm looking at this, although we are connected, I think that time apart is good for both of you. I think that time apart actually allows you guys to think fondly on one another. As I look at this hermit sort of in his space, he's drawing a woman here. Let me pull this closer. This could be your twin flame thinking about you. So I think that you guys may be connected and together with this Four of Wands, but with this contemplation, if there's time or space being taken between the two of you, the feeling that I get here is that that's actually beneficial. It actually enhances your relationship more so than takes away from it. It allows an opportunity for the two of you to sort of be creative and explore your feelings for one another in a sort of, I want to say, safe environment, or an environment that doesn't feel um, uh, uh, overwhelming, right? There's a calmness to this card, this contemplation card, that I really like. And if it is the Hermit is all about sort of going inward to amass the knowledge that we need so that we can better, you know, excel in the world, or live our lives. And I feel like that's what this is about, is maybe at times when you guys come together, it's very a beautiful union and real meeting of souls. But there is times where you need to be apart. Like this card indicates to me that you guys do need to take space at times. And don't worry if one of you, like maybe the one that's watching this video right now, if you're fearful of that time or that space that's taken, if you're twin flame, or your partner separates themselves from you at times, don't let that be a bad thing. This card to me says it's okay, it's totally safe. They're still sort of thinking about you, they're still focusing on you, and they're actually able to create and get exploratory more in their emotions about how they feel about you, and get clearer on those emotions. So I think that there's actually a very nice uh, connection that is created from this time apart. Okay, and I know that sounds odd to me, but it's what's going on. And then we have the Three of Cups. Again, another beautiful union happening. Cups being the emotions. The Three of Cups is all about celebrations, enjoying friends, family, that sort of thing. But with this, I feel like, again, it's sort of we come together, we pause, we step back, we reflect, we fall like almost in love with our significant other, and then we come back together in joy. So when I look at all three of these cards together, to me, you guys are a little bit maybe the thinkers. I feel like, especially with this Hermit card happening here, you guys are there's a seriousness, I feel like, with this Hermit card. But when you come together with your flame or with your other significant other, it really is about spiritual union, joy, and celebration. And so there really is a high that you hit, and an experience that can be loving and warm and wonderful, right? But I don't want to negate the fact that your most powerful tarot card here is this contemplation card. So it says to me that time apart is important for the two of you, for your own sort of uh, relationship health, right? Now, this is your card for the universe, what the universe is, how it's interacting with you. It says, don't be misled. So I'm going to read it to you. When fear speaks, it's always wrong unless being chased by wildebeests. And when love speaks, it's always right and usually bouncy. Game on, the universe. So to me, I like this because don't be misled says to me, don't be misled by the fears that you may have about the time spent apart. If you find your flame and you sort of, taking time apart and then coming back together and rejoicing in the time together, that's exactly what's supposed to be happening here. That's exactly sort of the experience you want to be having with your flame. You want to give them their space. They need it. They're if either both of you are thinkers or one of you might be thinkers, right? Well, maybe not the one that's watching this video, but they need their space. And if you need yours too, I would believe. And it's wise for you guys to do that. Don't be misled by fear or worry that, oh my God, if they're parting away from me, that means they don't love me or they're leaving me. It's not that. And you don't want to do that. That's like, I feel like this might be key to this time apart is actually key. We're looking at a key here, guys, to the relationship, right? Where we utilize that time to be contemplative, we utilize that time to find the appreciation we have for the individual, we use that time to allow them to have their space so that they can have a clarity in their, and we trust. There's like this trust that's going on that I feel like we don't allow fear to lead. And when they talk about that love feeling bouncy, to me, that is this Three of Cups energy, this celebratory coming together and feeling good again when you guys do come back together. And in really enjoying that and relishing that. And that's what sort of makes the time apart all the more valuable. Now, the next card is your Moonology card. This is just sort of talking about where the planets are at or what they think you need to be doing in all of this, or astrologically. So this says, the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. So to me, a full moon is definitely full on energy, right? And then in Capricorn, right, is that sort of grounded, sometimes slower energy. You maybe have felt, maybe this is some of that contemplative space that's being taken. This might be indicative of that. To me, Capricorn is obviously a very earthy energy and a very productive energy, but it can move sort of slowly. It can move sort of, how do I want to say this? It can be sort of strict in a way, or, unrelenting. And so it feels to me like you guys want to get more to that bouncy place, right? That fun energy of this Three of Cups, but you have to take these moments. They're important. This moon being full in this energy of Capricorn says that these moments apart, I mean, I can't express that enough, that they are needed for you to come back together in appreciation of one another. Now, the next card is your Lovers, I think this is called, what is this called? The Lover's Path? Oh, the Lover's Oracle. And this card was to represent the heart. So I love this sort of, they kind of look a little sad to me, but there is this interesting sort of, I love how she's kissing her. They are having a little bit of a lesbian thing, but that's okay. I don't judge. But he or she is kissing her, and I love how her third eye is opening. So again, this speaks to that sort of love, that sort of spiritual connection. I love that both of their eyes are closed, which bring me back to that contemplation card where we have both our inward world and connection to ourselves, and then we have our outward connection to each other in this relationship, and it's both are equally important. The back of this card says, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Shit, excuse my language. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. So, and this is again part of this, don't be misled. Just because you guys are flames or in love does not mean you have to spend every goddamn waking hour with each other, right? If they're really your twin flame, you can relax and trust that they are yours, that they are meant for you, that you are connected to them, that they are available to you, that you can celebrate them, and then you can also take heart and be grounded in that, like full moon in Capricorn, you can almost be grounded in that energy of that awareness of they will be stable, they are, mine, so to speak. So don't allow that fear to lead in your mind. Now, this last card is representational of our mind. This card is for the heart. This card is for the mind, where our mind is at. And I specifically used this deck. It's called the Breakup deck. I specifically used it because I wanted a voice of reason in here. I think that it's important that when we're looking at relationships as heavy and as important as twin flame relationships, it's important to ground ourselves in the reality of what our thoughts and our fears might be producing within us. So I added this card in, even though it is from a deck called the Breakup deck. So, and this is a beautiful deck available on Etsy. I have an unboxing of this deck, so if you want to look at it in further detail, you certainly can, and there's links on how to get a hold of it. This says, remember, unless you detach, you will not be able to attract. Hello, space people. You must empty a stale cup of water before you fill it with fresh water. So she's not saying break up, guys, but she is saying we need to sort of take our space. And there is this magic that comes into the relationship when you guys use that practical sort of, uh, grounded energy of this full moon in Capricorn to take that space, get creative, and think about each other fondly. If the person that's watching this and has chosen this um, uh, pile, right? Or the people that are, if you're like the ones that are maybe say the more on the clingy side, or the more, oh my God, I love my flame, we've got to be together all the time. I would say try and step back from that. Try, if they truly are your flame and there truly is love going on there, then you guys are fine. You take the moments where you can celebrate. The bond here, it shows me right here in this Four of Wands, the bond here is real. What you feel is real. Just because they part from you does not break that bond. It actually serves to make it stronger. And you guys need to trust in that, okay? Don't fear that. Don't let that fear mislead you. Don't let that, because it's creating these tough cycles, right? The end of a tough, rough cycle approaches, which is this full moon in Capricorn. Capricorn's all about grounded energy, getting things done. Full moon is all about big energy. So there's this opportunity here to get practical, get realistic, get grounded, and really own the love that you have with your flame and allow them to have the space that they need. Now, this last card is the vibrational energy for this group. It talks about, just it gives me a general idea of where you guys are vibing at. We want to know, so let's do it. Huntsman, bam. Okay, so this huntsman to me is totally Capricorn energy. It feels like it to me. It's about aiming at the target, being direct, being hitting the target, knowing what you want and going after it. It's about being clear on what you have, not being fearful. In this don't be misled, this is about seeing the target, manifesting it, and going after it with that practical sort of full moon Capricorn energy that we see here, with this sort of contemplative hermit energy. This is about knowing what we have, valuing it, not fearing it, knowing it's always going to be on target. If this is a twin flame, guys, and it is what you feel that it is, don't fear, is what I want to say to this group. Allow yourselves to both grow on your separate paths as you come back together throughout, the relationship. That's really the gift that you have here, okay? That's really the opportunity and the beauty that this group, that your connection has, is that you guys have the power to sort of separate and then reconnect and enjoy each other almost even more so each time you do so, because you both allow each other the space to grow and evolve and become almost better, right? More accurate with that huntsman card, right? So I hope that makes sense for group one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You have the key, right? So you can unlock these fears and worries, and allow yourself the space to grow. And if you're somebody that needs the space and your twin is not allowing you to, have them watch this video, right? If you're somebody that feels as though, oh my God, I want to take that contemplative space and they're not allowing me, maybe have them watch this video if you have these discussions with them. All right, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please give the reading a like, a share, a comment, or a subscribe to the channel. Any subscriptions and all of that are greatly appreciated. Likes and shares and comments are greatly appreciated. I'm going to move on to group number 2. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I wish you all the best in your relationship. Hi, group number 2. So what I explained in group number 1 is that I've pulled out 3 tarot cards to give an overall sense of the relationship, okay? So that's these 3 cards here. I've then pulled a card for the universe, sort of how our environment or the universe is acknowledging this relationship or union. I then pulled a card from the Moonology deck, which just sort of speaks to like astrology and the planets, where the moon is at. The moon is a very subconscious, sort of intuitive guiding force. It has an energy to affect the tides. It's a very subtle subconscious energy, right? So I wanted that to sort of represent in that way in this reading. I then chose from the Lover's Oracle to represent where our heart is at, from the Breakup deck to represent the practicality of our head and sometimes our logic. So this could be a message that might be a little bit uh, um, contradictory to the reading, but you'll see why. And then I have a last card here for the vibrational energy of the deck. Now, you guys chose this beautiful crystal, this rose quartz heart. So let's get into your reading and see what we've got going on. So your first card is Arthur and Guinevere, which is power. Let me just see here. I need to. What is Arthur and Guinevere? Power. See, they've named these different than the major arcana, so I need to know where we're working with this because I'm not reading the story to you guys. Oh, this is the Emperor. Okay, perfect. That's what I kind of thought. So, this card represents as the Emperor. The Emperor is always about not cutting corners. The Emperor is always about practicality. The Emperor to me is a very sort of earth-based energy, very stable, very like, you gotta sort of impress me, you have to convince me. Arthur and Guinevere, they ruled over the Knights of the Round Table, right? So they were pretty serious folk. They weren't to be sort of mucked with. I feel like this relationship is a very grounded and practical relationship. I feel like there's a lot of facts going on between you guys. I feel like facts are important to you guys. I feel like this is a logical group, or that you guys would use more logic in this group with this as your lead card. Practicality, speaking things out, getting to the like sort of the meat and the bones of the issue. If there's an argument or whatever, it's like we know we need to work it out. We need to flesh it out. I feel like that's this card for you guys. And you guys also, I have to say that you guys leave no stone unturned. Get it? No stone unturned. But so I feel like that's what's going on with this group here. You guys might be a lot of my earth signs, right? Or one of you in the relationship is very earthy. So let's see what your next tarot card is. So you guys have the Lovers. Shit. This is some heady stuff here. Okay, I'm gonna just look at your third really quick. Wow, you guys have all major arcana cards. You also have Justice. The first group did not have all of that, so let me just do this. So the Lovers is definitely speaking to the idea of being uh, in love on a very deep level. We've got Isis and Osiris as the representation of this group, of this card, right? So when I look at this, it makes sense with this rose quartz heart that there's so much major arcana love connected energy. This deck is represented by sort of significant historical relationships and their love. So you have that running through all three cards. But with this Justice card and with this Emperor card, to me, it feels like you guys have a little bit, like I was saying, this is sort of the grounded, no sort of shortcuts kind of attitude. The Justice card also gives me that vibe a little bit, where you guys, it's very important within this relationship that you guys are both fair, clear, you communicate what you need, and that you are sort of, stability is important to this group, right? Stability and sort of honor, justice, being honored, being, told the truth, that sort of a thing. And I feel like if you guys aren't receiving that, then big problems will arise. But I do feel like this group, for the whole, for the most of you, you may actually within, if you're already in a situation you consider to be a twin flame situation, you might, this is going to be sort of like the rock solid foundation that you guys need. But you have this Lovers card. So as long as you guys are treating each other fairly and with respect and justice and being fair and sort of weighing all of your options, all of, like, if there's an argument that arises, listening to the other side, being fair, that sort of energy is really, really beneficial to this group, like no joke. So I would say keep that in mind. Now, this is your universe card. So this is the notes from the universe on 11 connection deck. This is, you are destined for greatness on the wings of love. That would be this Lovers card here, guys. And Osiris and Isis were always, sort of depicted and associated with lots of bird creatures. So this is interesting. So let me read the back of this to you. It says, To clarify, the primary roles of love are not to heal, fix, or mend, not to soothe, cure, or ease, not even to refresh, rejuvenate, or restore. Hardly. The primary roles of love are to yahoo, yeehaw, and woohoo! Get your love on, the universe. So I feel like this is that practicality that we see in the Emperor and in the Justice card. This is about, like, to clarify, the primary roles of love are not to heal, fix, or mend. You guys have your shit together, is what I feel like in this group. Like, you guys are the group that it's not. I want to say you don't want to come to this relationship with your issues. If you've picked this group and you've got somebody that's got, a drug problem, or he's stealing from me, or whatever, you're either A, you've picked the wrong group, or B, you need to kick him to the curb. Because those three major arcana cards in the center say to me that this is not the way that you deserve to be treated, and this is not what creates that deep love that you're looking for. Okay, so if you think you're with your twin flame, and I'm just throwing this out there because I think that there might be some of you that might, be like, what's he talking about? I don't get it because I'm having problems with my partner. This says to me, if you don't stop that and shift that, you need a relationship that is grounded in this sort of energy of this Emperor and Justice to create the lovers, right? And you are destined for greatness on the wings of love, right? But you don't need to be fixing anybody or mending them. They don't need to be cutting corners. The Emperor is always about, like, sort of this stern fatherly love. So there is this idea of, you guys can be discerning and love, but you're not going to be codependent at all. Okay. Now, your Moonology card, just to see where the planets are at in all of this. Don't let your past hold you back, the South Node. So I don't know much about the nodes. I should find out. I'm sorry about that. I do like that this card, it says, don't let your past hold you back. So again, we're not here to mend. We're not here to fix. We're not here, like we saw in this universe card. There is this sort of practicality that I feel like in these three cards where we're not allowing experiences of our past to sort of affect our now. We're sort of moving forward. The green color in that card definitely speaks to me about healing or being healed, in the sense that we very much know who we are at this point and what we want. And that is this Emperor energy too, and this Justice energy, the clarity of this Lovers card. It's like we're not going to put up with any bullshit. So like I said, if he's stealing your shit or like robbing your fucking house, he's not your twin flame, guys. And I hate to be harsh about that, but like any of you that have got that going on and you've picked this pile, you either need to clean house and get a new twin flame, and I know you can't get a new twin flame. I get it that the twin flame is like the other side of your soul, but generally as a rule, I do firmly believe, and these cards are telling me, that the other side of your soul is not going to fuck you over on a regular basis, period. So more than likely, it's not your twin flame. That may piss a lot of people off, but this group and these cards with the rose quartz heart say to me, y'all know. Y'all know, and this is not about cutting corners. This is about justice and doing the right thing by you first and foremost. So for some of you that do have a solid, rock solid lover's relationship with somebody, go for it. That is your twin flame. You're both not here to heal each other. You're here to embrace each other and lift each other up in your own sort of work that you've already done, right? This to me, these cards feel like we've moved through our shit already, and we're here now to enjoy each other in a very grounded, practical sort of way. All right. This is your lover's oracle, representing more your heart, where your heart is at. Look at this. Hello, romance novel. He's kind of like got a little bit too much of a grip on her head, but whatever. This says friendship. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship, and your love life will dramatically improve. So I think that there is, like I said, there's a respect here with this Justice card and this Emperor card. I can't say it any more clearly. That would be the idea of friendship, like really honoring the other party in the relationship and acknowledging them and loving them for who they truly are, allowing them to, not trying to fix them, change them. If you're trying to fix somebody or heal them so that they can get better to be your twin flame, you're in the wrong group. I'm just going to say it. Boom. Because this group knows that it's not about that. And if you're in this group and you feel like this is your group, and you're trying to heal somebody, you're probably not with the right person. So I'm just going to say that outright too. Now this is the breakup deck. This is the card that is I put this card in to represent your mind, right? And sometimes our mind can work against us. This card, I wanted it to be sort of the voice of not reason, but like sort of that voice that might be helping us or hindering us, like giving us that sort of balanced, practical thing. Because twin flame is a very serious subject to me. I don't take it lightly. And so I think that there's a lot of people that just label stuff twin flame and go crazy and go, oh my God, it's my twin flame. Yet he's strung out on heroin and he stole my car. And I'm like, that's not your other half of your soul, girl. Like, I'm sorry. So this card is sort of to represent that. It's a beautiful deck called the Breakup Deck, made by an artist, I believe, in Southern California. She is findable on Instagram, and you can find her work, this deck, on Etsy. I do have an unboxing for it. Please check her out. She deserves it. This is a beautiful deck, and it can sometimes be like shots fired. So I never know what these cards are going to say, but I wanted this influence in this reading so that we kind of get grounded. So this says, don't torture yourself. Delete them off your social media. All right, so this is for my kids that are like saying, "Oh wait, I picked this group, but he's fucking me over." Don't torture yourself. If he's not fixed, if he's not ready, let him go. There's something else out there for you. I would say this, guys, if there's anybody that chose this group and you're tortured by your twin flame, it's not your twin flame. It's a soulmate, somebody that you've incarnated with multiple times. Yes, the feelings are intense. Yes, the love might be there off and on, but it's not a twin flame situation. I'm just going to say that. For those of you that are in a twin flame situation, these cards are going to make a lot of sense to you. This friendship card, this card is actually going to mean nothing really to you because there is no torture going on. And it doesn't matter to you whether they're on your social media or not, because you know that you're rock solid with them on all scores with this Justice card and this Emperor card. Okay? There's like a ton of freedom in these cards. All right? Now, this is your last card for this group. This is the overall energy of this group. Let's see what it says. This is Dream Catchers. So again, I love how this green pulls in with this green of the South Node, which is this don't let your past hold you back. To me, this Dream Catcher feels like, wow, where do we want to take this relationship? Where do we want to build this relationship? Because I feel like with that Emperor card, with that Lovers card, and with that Justice card, and that card that says you are destined for greatness on the wings of love, you guys, with this dream catcher's energy, those of you that are in a relationship that really is working and is being honorable and forthright and all of those wonderful qualities, you guys are rocking it out, and you guys can carry this relationship to wherever you want it to go. Dream catcher, baby. Like, look at her manifesting from that healed green loving energy, right? Sorry about the glare. I wonder if moving this, does this help take the glare off that card a little bit? Oh, that helps a little bit. She is sort of manifesting that energy in a very, very big way, right? She's sort of in deep meditative peace, knowing that her love is solid, knowing that she has, there's a sense of justice, a sense of groundedness. There's a definite true bond there, a friendship, something that can be built upon. She's not trying to fix anything. And from there, she's sort of manifesting from her third eye and from her crown, her knowing exactly the relationship that she wants. So, and I love that this is all underneath this heart, right? This rose quartz heart. So keep that heart-centered focus and allow that to lead in your mind and in your dreams. And this relationship has extreme possibilities, like really beautiful, especially with those three major arcanas. This is a very pivotal relationship for those of you that pick this group that are relating to all of these cards and treating each other with the respect and justice and the things that I see in those three tarot cards. Okay, you guys? So that is your message for group number 2. If you like this, please let me know. Leave me a comment if you hated it or you thought I got a little too mouthy. Let me know that too, and I might be able to get mouthy again. But if you want to see more of these, let me know, because I don't necessarily do these very often. But if you're getting something out of them and my audience likes them, I will continue to do them if you guys ask for them. So please leave me feedback about your relationships and your situations. Did this make sense to you? Do you guys understand what these cards say? Does it resonate with your relationship? Thank you so much for tuning in. You can please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and subscribe so that you are notified when I go live or do any other events. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, you guys, and enjoy your relationship. You guys really have some wonderful things ahead. All right, bye-bye. Hello, group 3. Now, you guys picked my grandma's wedding ring. Okay, sweet. All right, so the way that I did this, and I explained this to each of the groups, is I start with 3 tarot cards that give us a little bit of an overall feeling of what's going on in the relationship. Then we have a message from the universe, which is our outside environment, how it's interacting with this possible, twin flame connection or this relationship connection. We have a moonology card, which talks about sort of just where the moon's at, where the planets are at, those sort of influences that are going on. The moon is a very subconscious energy, a very intuitive and loving energy. It has the power to affect the emotions and, the tides, that sort of a thing. So I wanted that energy represented. I also had a lover's, I believe this is called the Lover's Oracle. This is to represent the heart, where our heart is at. And then this card here, I actually love that this card is the similar color of the bed of the deck. I just noticed that. The bed of the ring. And then this is from the breakup deck. This last card is the vibrational energy of this group. Okay, so we'll do that one last. So let's dig in, kids. So our first tarot card is tradition. We have Romeo and Juliet. Okay, you can't get any more twin flamier than those two. The only thing I want to say about Romeo and Juliet, though, is they did kill each other, or like they killed themselves because they couldn't be together, which to me is kind of a sad thing. I don't necessarily think that you guys are going to kill each other or need to kill each other. You don't necessarily want to do that. But this card is representational. You don't necessarily want to do that. It doesn't mean, it's not a negative thing to me. Romeo and Juliet are probably the most famous and classic of lovers. So when I see this, I think of that first. Like this is a very almost, and this card is representational of the Hierophant in the Major Arcana. This is a Major Arcana card. So I love that we're leading with this card. So this says to me that you guys, this is like the picture perfect love. The classic sort of relationship where it is very connected, right? There might be issues right now within this relationship, outside influence issues. And the reason why I say that is because of the story of Romeo and Juliet. The Capulets and what was the other people? The Smiths, the Joneses, I can't remember. The Capulets and the other family, they didn't want these two together, right? So you guys there might be some work involved in this relationship, convincing those around you to sort of, and it's funny too, I'm noticing this, I'm jumping ahead, but this is everyone is doing their best, which to me makes me think that there's a lot of outside people paying attention. All right, so let me get back to this. This is the Hierophant, right? And this gentleman here obviously represents the Hierophant standing over Romeo and Juliet. The Hierophant is always about sort of sacred knowledge, institutions, that sort of thing. But that institutional sort of aspect of the card makes me feel very traditional in this love that these two represent. So to me, this is a very traditional love, star-crossed lovers in that way. But you guys might be dealing with outside influences, hence this everyone is doing their best kind of feeling that I'm getting in this card over here, but we haven't gotten to that just yet. So, and also I love that you guys are represented by the wedding ring, which is also a very traditional symbol now that I think about it. And so to me, this is kicking off here. The Hierophant is always about knowledge, always about sort of like structure, that sort of a thing. I do want you guys to be mindful that if not everybody's on board, or if there's issues outside of the relationship for you guys, that's okay. It doesn't feel like it's insurmountable. As long as we sort of handle things in a sort of, I want to say traditional way or productive, honorable way, things will be fine, okay? Now, the next card is balance. We have Venus and Vulcan. Interesting. Let's see. I think this might be Temperance. They have different names in this deck for the cards. So let me see here. Where is... It is Temperance. So this is all about, balance, basically. I love that it's Venus though and Vulcan. I don't know much about Vulcan, but Venus is like sort of the goddess of love. So I'm gonna have to check out their story because when I did this, I pendulumed each group after. This is a personal aside, but I'm gonna take you guys through it. I pendulumed this group. I pendulumed all of them. I always pendulum every group before a pick a card to make sure that all information is needed and that nothing else is required. And I do a series of questions over each pile. This group was my group. This group and possibly number four was, I got a possible on number four. So this is the one that I'm paying attention to closest. So I'm interested. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to check out Venus and Vulcan's story. But the balance card and it being temperance, temperance is always represented usually in tarot by that angel pouring those sort of glasses of water back and forth. It's sort of that balance of that give and that take. And again, we have that sort of give and take that I see in the traditionalism of the Hierophant and this sort of idea of Romeo and Juliet, the traditional star-crossed lovers, that sort of coming together, that wanting to be honorable, being, you know, the traditional ring, you know, maybe there's people with outside opinions or that aren't necessarily allowing for the love to kind of be honored or acknowledged. But that's where this balance comes in. That's where this temperance comes in. As long as this relationship, whoever is watching this, as long as you guys stay in balance with one another and kind of maintain that balance with the outside world, all will be well. Everything will be fine. Right? Some of you, I'm actually looking at this card, might have like a father or a mother figure or a parent that might be a little bit too involved in this relationship, or a significant, not a significant other, but like a sister, you know, like an older sister, somebody that's got a fucking opinion, right? I love how I'm like a fucking opinion while I'm doing a love reading. Anyways, so this card says to me, keep that balance, right? And I love that she's Venus. I love that these are both major arcana. So again, this says to me, this is a pretty heady group. You guys are bringing in that love energy. Wow. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups, a little bit emotional, definitely the emotional side. Look at the art in this card. I love this card. And actually, when I was shuffling the deck, this card flashed in front of me while I was shuffling. And I thought, oh, I wonder if that's going to show up. And it's in here. To me, there's a lot of things going on in the head of this woman, right? She has the face or the ghost of this man kissing her. And so I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here. There's also the opportunities for creating emotionally both good and bad, right? The Seven of Cups to me signifies the idea that we can create through our emotions and our thought, you know, what our emotional state brings us. It can create in our thoughts a lot of different avenues. That's where this balance becomes important, right? That's where this Romeo and Juliet, you know, and the Hierophant, the energy of Romeo and Juliet, although they were traditional lovers, you know, they sort of, if we're not careful and if we don't keep that sort of balance, we could, you know, see a different outcome that we don't want to see, like Romeo and Juliet maybe experience. I'm not saying anybody's dying, guys, so don't run off with that. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe the relationship might face pressures or outside influences that could be stressful, right? But we want to keep this Seven of Cups energy. We want to keep our emotions buoyant, good, focused on what we have, focused on the good things, focused on the wide variety of the opportunities, focused on the love, right? And what's being created out of this experience. Now, this is everyone is doing their best. This is the again, that sort of speaks to that balance also, is like trying to do your best and keep things balanced, trying to keep our thoughts and our emotions balanced in a positive way in this relationship, even if we feel like outside influences are stressing us out or judging us or maybe saying, oh no, that's not right, you shouldn't do that, this, that, and the other. I also love that there's these two cupids going on here. We've got these two little angels, and generally this card is represented by an angel. So in traditional tarot, this everyone is doing their best. To me, feels like, you know, this might be the outside environment. You know, let's see what it says. There are really only two types of people: those you now love and those you will love, until there's only one type of person, and then we'll probably hit replay. The game of life, the universe. So this says to me, find love for those that might be critical, for those that might be in the way of your happiness, for those that like sort of, you know, if we have any problems, let me say this for this group. If we have any problems outside of our relationship with, say, family members or friends, those sort of things and those sort of energies can seep into us emotionally. And I feel like we bring this maybe to the table in this relationship, and we want to be mindful of that. Because this Seven of Cups is, there's a beauty here and there's a power here. There's a strength to create both good and bad. So if we find ourselves having troubles with people that create emotions within us that we bring back to our twin flame situation, and it causes strain or stress for us, we want to be mindful of that and find forgiveness for them as best we can by looking at them as doing their best. Even if we don't agree with what they say, how they see our relationship, what their opinions may be on our relationship, let them, have their opinions and know that they're doing their best. They may not fully understand. I just noticed too, we have another angel here. She's sort of wrapped up in her wings. Interesting. There's angels all through this. So let's see what the Moonology deck has to say. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. So when I'm talking about conclusions are within reach, this feels like the answers of maybe outside influences giving you guys trouble or giving you guys pressure or judgments, that sort of a thing. I feel like this full moon eclipse means that at some point the power of the full moon and the eclipse will sort of take their power away, right? We have these trees here that are blocking this moon to a degree. I feel like this could be family members, similar to the Romeo and Juliet story. Or this could be, maybe your significant other has an ex-wife or some kids. I'm not saying that you need to kick the kids to the curb. What I'm saying is that there's other people involved potentially in this scenario while you guys are trying to sort out your love thing. Right? And as you're trying to sort it out, the best thing for you to do is to stay balanced, understand that everybody in this situation is doing their best. Don't take it out on your lover, don't take it out on their family, don't take it out on your family. If you're stressed, know that this full moon eclipse is coming and that you're going to be able to eclipse sort of these barriers or these people or whatever's in the way, and the conclusions will be within reach, right? But you have to remain positive. You have to keep these emotions square and positive and understand their power. And this man kissing her says he loves her. He may not be available to her all the time, or he might have other requirements or other, things that he has to fulfill or do. But remain emotionally balanced and stay focused on the good things, that the conclusions will be within reach, and you've got to just give it time. Okay? Now, this card represents for your heart, what your heart is, doing in all of this. And this is from the Lover's Oracle. So this says, and then look at what I mean by that angel. She's like resting. So I would say this group could probably take a rest. It's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. Okay? So that's kind of beautiful. I think that this means sort of taking that focus off of others, keep maintaining that balance, understanding that what you have is what you have, and that hopefully it will sort of iron itself out to a degree. It will make itself more clear when this full moon eclipse happens, or this sort of idea of like having the energy to fully understand things and things start to shift and change. All right. Now this next card is from the breakup deck. This card represents sort of the mind and where it's at. I put this in, even though it's called the breakup deck and this is our love reading, I put these cards in specifically for this because sometimes our minds work against us, or sometimes we need a bit of like a practical jolt in the arm, especially when we're dealing with ideas of soulmates and twin flames. We want to keep in mind that sometimes we need to be grounded. And so this could be working for us or against us. This is a beautiful deck created by an artist in Southern California. You can find her on Instagram. You can also find her work on Etsy. I do have an unboxing video on my channel. In the description box, there is a link to this deck if you're interested in researching it and buying it. So I just love the art on it. But it says, "You think you should have seen this coming. I bet your intuition did." So when I see that, I look at this and then it takes me back to that idea of, I wish I knew more about Venus and Vulcan because I think that there's something there and I don't know about their love story. I'm going to have to look that up and find out who they are like pretty immediately. Romeo and Juliet says to me, you know, they were sort of like ill-fated lovers to a degree. And I think that if we're not careful with this group, that we have to, that Seven of Cups says to me, this group has to stay very positive. That little resting angel card, that taking time alone and sort of gathering your space and keeping that balance, keeping your mental headspace, remembering that everyone is doing their best, all of this stuff is going to keep you guys positive and on track for the opportunity to have a relationship. But right now, this, you think you should have seen this coming, I bet your intuition did, says to me that I think that some of you in this group might be second guessing a little bit, fearing a little bit, worrying a little bit because outside influences, you know, or others' opinions might be having an effect on your mental clarity around the significance of this relationship. And that's why I feel like they're also telling you to sort of rest in this green blue calmness, right? This healing sort of space of to regain that balance and that temperance, right? That harmony, to maintain that within this relationship. Now, the last card is the vibrational energy deck, and this card is sort of just gives me an overall look at what the like how the energy is vibrating within this group, within these this group's relationship. So this is an open book. I love it. So to me, this says we can create our story. That's the Seven of Cups. That's the balance card. That's the rest. We just need to take time out and believe, right? We just need to understand that even though, you know, we might be a little bit more traditional, but I love that we're walking towards the light. We're walking out of this storybook idea. To me, the storybook also is very traditional, sort of like Romeo and Juliet was a book, right? Or like a play. To me, it speaks to that story, like almost that fairy tale energy that you guys, when you are together or things are good, that it really is bright and shiny and beautiful, that we really are heading towards sort of like this better future or this better idea. We need to stay focused on that. We need to sort of not focus on, like, see, to me, this, I bet you should have seen this coming. I bet your intuition did. This to me feels like our mind working against us. Like going like, see, bitch, I told you, he didn't call today. He must not love you. Like it's that kind of an energy, right? So we need to keep an awareness of when we do this to ourselves because we don't want to beat ourselves up in this because we have this opportunity in the end with this energy in this relationship to be like this fairy tale sort of path to enlightenment. There is this beautiful opportunity here for those of you in this group to create your story, especially with that Seven of Cups energy. We get that emotional connection, and if we balance it out and we honor it and we're traditional, like we respect it and we don't allow other people's opinions or influences to affect it, we can really create something beautiful here. Something so beautiful. Because the idea that it's Romeo and Juliet as the lead card, which they are like the quintessential lovers, it says to me we have to believe in that and not focus on the aspect of the story where, you know, they were ill-fated, right? We don't have to be ill-fated if we choose not to be, is this group. We get to create the story in the end. But we have to be conscious of that, maintain that balance, and move towards that. All right, so that is your guys's twin flame reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a comment. Let me know if you'd like to see more. You know, if you didn't like it, let me know that too. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I do go live. And also just for other videos and that sort of thing. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Now I'm going to move on to group 4. Thank you. All right, hello, group 4. Now, you guys chose my old Little Prince watch. And when I'm not talking about, not Red Corvette Prince, I'm talking about this little prince. He's sort of like a daydreamer. I love him. So you guys chose this as your symbol. So it'll be interesting. Now, what I've said to every group is I've chosen 3 tarot cards to give an overall sense of what the energy of the relationship is between you and your twin flame, right? And then I'll lay these out I've chosen one card from the universe to talk about sort of the environment of the universe and how it's affecting the relationship or interacting with the relationship where it's at. I chose one card from Moonology to signify sort of the subconscious powers of the planets and the moon and how, you know, the moon affects our emotions and the tides and that sort of thing. It's definitely a love-based energy, intuitive, subconscious energy, but that is also there. This is our heart, right, where our heart is at. I chose a card to represent our mind or our head. And this last card here is the vibrational energy of the relationship. Okay, so this is going to tell me sort of the overall energy of what's going on or what you guys could potentially create with the energy that's within this relationship. So let's get to it. Let's open this up and figure this out. So your first tarot card is the Six of Arrows. Interesting. To me, I look at this and I feel like I'm assuming arrows is swords in this deck. I think it is because this is the first time I've used this deck. And it's called the Lover's Path Tarot. And to me, it feels like you may have had a hard time in the past. You might be coming into this relationship with a fair set of baggage. That you want to move on to bigger and better things. There may be some struggles within this relationship, is how I feel. Let me look at the next card. We have the Five of Staves, which is the Five of Wands. To me, this looks like more trouble. This looks like they're having a little bit of a fight. It's maybe a little bit competitive. There's a little bit of energy here. I feel like with this Six of Arrows, to me, it feels like a little bit maybe hurt feelings. There might be a little bit of barbing going on in this relationship. This is sort of a little bit tough to deal with. Let me look at the last card. Let me see here. You have the Strength card. Okay. So, and that's a major arcana card, so that's definitely signified by lovers. Now, I'm going to say this. As far as a twin flame relationship is concerned here, I think that if this is one, it's hard work, period. With that Six of Arrows and those Five of Wands going on, or what do they call it, staves, is there's a lot of, not only are we, I feel like she's bringing in that boat, right? Let me show you. In this boat, she's bringing in her past. She's like wheeling up in her boat and going, "Hi, I'm here. Look at all my baggage. Look at all the fucking wounded relationships I've been through. I'm even carrying one in my hand. Like, oh my God, that last boyfriend really sucked, but I'm ready to be loved." And there's nothing wrong with that, guys, right? There's nothing fucking wrong with that, but that's what I'm hearing from that card. That's totally what the energy she's giving me. She means well, you might mean well, or your partner might mean well, but they've got some baggage. Let's just say that. Or you've got some baggage, or you both have some fucking baggage. But whatever it is, it's okay. It's like you're still trying to do that. You're the best that you can. This is like a little bit more of a harder lesson, right? To me, in the sense that both of you have to do your work to be in this relationship. That's this Strength card back here. To achieve the fucking, excuse me, I should stop swearing, but I just feel like there's this energy here of to achieve this Lovers card back here, we have to sort of work our way through these issues of the past and these issues of the present. And these guys here, it's like when you guys fight, I kind of get the feeling that this group, you might fight a fair amount, but it's not ever necessarily, to me, this fighting feels a little bit almost competitive. It doesn't necessarily feel super dire. Like, I don't think you guys are out to harm each other, right? But I think that with your own sort of egos and your own past experiences represented in that Six of Arrows card, you guys might get your feelings hurt a little bit in those competitive sparring matches. Does that make sense? And so when that happens, sometimes maybe feelings are hurt. And so that's where it takes this strength to kind of maintain the love between you two. This is not an easy matchup. Let's just say that. It's not because of the other person. I also need to say that too. It's because of our experiences and our egos that are creating these two cards. Our experiences and our egos that might be sort of getting in our way a little bit. But we do have this Strength card back here that says to us that if we work hard and we're methodical or, you know, strong about it and we don't give in and we try and like sort of toughen up or whatever, we could make this work, right? It's weird for it to be a twin flame situation, and I'm seeing so much sort of like stuff. But this is not about this relationship. This is about the past and us bringing this into this relationship. And this is about maybe both people bringing too much of their past into this relationship, not being aware enough yet, or healed up enough yet. You're attempting to muster up the strength, right, to make this work. So I think that it's possible for this group for sure, but it's not. This is not the easy breezy twin flame, like we just walk down the golden path and it's all said and done. Now, this is your universe card. This is telling us a little bit about sort of how your outside environment or the universe is meeting you in this relationship. And this is enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. All right? I like this, and the reason, before I even flip it over to read it, what this is telling me right here is like, do you see all this pain that we come in this boat with, that we bring to the relationship? All of these ideas and thoughts and whatever that we've brought with us that from previous relationships, they might be sort of like pinching us or hurting us or tempering our experience or how we experience things. But if we actually start to embrace those things like this card is telling us, which is this enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness, you're going to start to appreciate and lighten up on this. And maybe this sparring happens less. And then we can achieve this strength and this bond within this relationship that much easier. I'm going to say that before even reading the back of this card. Now, the back of this card says, do you know what you've created? No, besides an intergalactically known saunter named after you. Inspiration in the eyes that have watched you, hope in the minds that have admired you, and love in the hearts that have known you. But you might ease up on your sachet before someone gets hurt. Not bad, kiddo, not bad at all, the universe. So in other words, the way that you've done this, the universe is trying to tell you, or this group, that even though you've suffered sort of the slings and arrows, these are really things that the way you've suffered them or the way that you've dealt with them really make you uniquely you, and that you need to embrace that and let go of sort of the sadness or the pain of that, so that you're not necessarily so apt to want to get into these kind of melees. Because this is a Wands card, there is a spiritual connection here, there is a fire, there is a passion, right? And we don't necessarily want that to like, we want to utilize that to build this strength, not to create like sort of arguments or fights or disagreements. And so what we need to do is, this is saying like, enjoy all of the things and start to hold yourself in a different light, or hold your partner in a different light, enabling your partner to see themselves better, right? Or you seeing yourself better. Now let's see what the Moonology card says. Work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. Beautiful. New moons to me are always about like, new beginnings, right? New cycles. And Scorpio is all about sex, death, and regeneration. So to me, when I'm looking at this and we're talking about working through your fears, again, we're back to these two cards here of this sort of past experience and the ego, right? These things are what create our response. So to me, this group is a little bit, maybe you guys respond a little bit knee-jerk, I might think, or respond from an experience of the past. To me, this work through your fears says that there is an opportunity within this relationship, as you build this strength, to change who you are, how you feel, how you fear, how you love. And you got to start that by enjoying this extraordinary uniqueness that is you, the good, the bad, and the otherwise. When you start to let up and start to enjoy that and embrace it, that's when you're able to work through your fears. That's when this new moon starts to like have its power of bringing about new things and releasing the old things that no longer work, right? And you get to start to build on, and sex, death, regeneration. Scorpio is all about transformation, right? Regeneration. So we get to regenerate, and this is emotional, right? This is water, emotional Scorpio energy. And look at her, she's on the water in her boat, right? So some of us are carrying a little bit too much of our mental and our emotional into the relationship that we're in right now. And then we're getting fired up and fighting a little bit. And that's okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it just makes it harder to want to be here and be truly connected. You have an opportunity to change that. Now, this next card is your heart card. Now, this card is kind of interesting. I got to show you this one, because when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. There's titties! We love titties, right? Like there's never enough titties in twin flame readings. So titty twin flames. But look at all the hearts here. And look at how he's caring for her. And I don't even know what he is doing to her, but whatever he is doing, she is sparkling. I think he has gotten out the Clorox wipes and just, buffed her down. But regardless, she is enjoying it. She's even got third eye activation. Look at her. Get it, bitch. All right, so this says healing. Okay. Oh my God, I love it because we have this new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears, which is all about healing. And this relate. Oh, okay. All right. Let me just read this to you. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. All right, so guys, this is about the fact that both of you maybe have had rough pasts or experiences where you guys have been invalidated. And that's okay, right? That's not the totality of who you are. That's what this enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness is saying. That's what this moon in Scorpio is all about here, this new moon in Scorpio. It's this opportunity to sort of heal ourselves emotionally and work through our fears so that we can get to a place where we can find this strength and be bonded and be in that deep relationship that we want to be in. So be an angel to your partner and help them to heal, right? Focus on what's working and what's good. And keep that as your central focus and begin to shed away what's old and what no longer serves you. Now, this last card, well, this isn't the last card, but this card here is from the breakup deck. She's this brilliant artist from, I believe, Southern California. Her deck is located on Etsy. And the reason why I included this deck is because it's to represent the mind. And the reason why it's called the breakup deck, which is an odd deck to have in a twin flame reading. But I wanted to use this deck because specifically my intuition was guiding me saying that there needs to be a voice of reason, and the breakup deck would be that. Twin flame is a heady concept, right? And sometimes we get caught up in that. And I like that this reading of the four is the most sort of common, I think, like with these issues of maybe the competitiveness, the fighting, the past pain. This is like what a lot of people experience. Not everybody's experiencing this wonderful, blissful thing. So this was to represent that. And sometimes these thoughts of our mind can not only work against us, but sometimes they can also bring us back to reality. So I wanted to have that voice in this deck, in this reading. And so this deck is that perfect voice. Sometimes it's like shots fired. So I never know what's going to come out of this deck, but it's there to let us know, is it working against us or is it working for us? So let's see what it has to say. Most people focus on other more than self-care. What little do they know is it all starts with self-care to attract the right other. Okay, so now we're talking about self-care here. We're also talking about caring for your partner there. There's definitely this idea of healing here and this self-care here. That's all of what needed to happen prior to you entering into this relationship. But I'm going to say this. Y'all are in this relationship, right? You've brought your arrows. You've shown up. You've brought your staves. You fought a bit. You love them. You know that. You're clear on that. You've probably, been through the highs and lows. But you know what? You're still in it. You still have the strength to make it happen. So now it's about like focusing on ourselves, allowing ourselves to also focus on them and really holding that special space for each other, allowing ourselves to work through our fears, trusting one another. That strength card really is like, can be built upon. This group, I'm going to tell you, oh, bitch, this group is going to take a little time. That's the symbol. Each symbol has come up in each reading, and I wasn't sure how the watch was going to come up in this one, but that's the thing. This is going to take a little time. This is going to take a little work, because this is my group that all showed up to the relationship a little bit early. Not early, I don't want to say that, but like it's shown up on your plate when your plate was a little full with other stuff. Let's say that. And so you got to clear your plate. You got to self-care and clean your plate. You got to help your partner clean their plate and heal their plate. And then those plates get to be this beautiful dinner that you guys get to enjoy and join into. Does that make sense? Sorry to use food references, but I am kind of a compulsive eater. So I really feel like inspired to say that this is the group that you guys may need a little extra time to really get there, because there's a lot of work to be done, but the work is, you guys A, are strong enough to get it done, and B, you guys there's just like a huge opportunity here to transform yourselves and your partners, right? But you have to focus on yourself. That's what this is saying. You don't want to be in this relationship going, well, if I just fix them, everything will be okay. If you're doing that, it's probably not going to help. It's probably not going to work. This is saying enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness, embrace yourself, work through your fears, and do your self-care. And then hold your lover in a space of healing and help to facilitate that with them, but you're not there to fix them. You're here to fix yourself. And this relationship is here to give you the strength and the opportunity through adversity. Did you hear that? To give you the strength and the opportunity through, and okay, one more time. Strength and opportunity through adversity to become more prepared and better suited and connected for this bond. Okay? Now, this last card is your vibrational energy. This shows me just a little bit about where the energy between the two of you are vibrating. I actually really love this reading. Oh my God, this is the F word. I've never even seen this card. What is this, the F word? The F word. What do we got going on here? Give me one moment. I need to connect to this card. Where my intuition goes, or where I want to go with this F word, is like instantly you think like being told off. But to me, this is about fun and frolic are the words that are showing up as the F word. This is about sort of enjoying yourself, remembering that, and also I have to say this too, this F word is this fear. If both of you are in egoic fear or worry from the past, you guys need to shift into the idea of having fun, enjoying each other, frolicking, healing each other, getting to your own self-care instead of focusing on what the other one might be doing or not doing. That's this F word to me. It's like replacing fear with faith, replacing fear with fun, replacing fear with frolic. Like, have fun. Replacing fear with fellatio. I'm just kidding. Well, I don't know what the hell's going on here. But have fun, you guys. Stop fearing. Be conscious of your fears and sort of let them go. And this is the opportunity within this relationship. Is this the Moonology card is giving you this opportunity to work through this fear, but you have to be willing to do that in a productive way, in a way that's focused on self-care instead of on them, on your own extraordinary uniqueness, on embracing yourself. Because as you do that and you embrace yourself and let go of that fear, you will be able to move yourself out of this stuff. And then these cards, I really have a feeling that these cards will change. It won't just be the strength card that comes out of this relationship. There's more to be shown here. I'm hearing that right now, or I'm feeling that right now as I'm looking at these cards. This is just the beginning of a long journey with this group. You guys are just starting out, right? You guys are in a state where it's not as established as the other previous groups that I saw today. This is a group that is a little bit more road weary, or have been through a few more experiences and have had a rougher time of it, and you're a little bit rougher around the edges, and you've arrived and you've met the one you want to work it out with, or the one you want to figure it out with, and you've got to now start to like scramble to work through the experiences of the past, the fears that might be holding you back, the the healing that you need so that you can be whole and be in this relationship. I think that it's there for you. You certainly have the strength to do it, but you have to be aware of that. That F word card to me feels like a button on an elevator. What floor are we going to? Are we going to the fear floor, or are we going to the fun floor? We get to choose. So be mindful of that as you move forward in this relationship. Please let me know what you thought of this reading. It's going to take time. You guys pick the timepiece. It's going to take time. That's the whole point of this reading, is what I'm hearing right now. And faith. With that F button, I'm now hearing faith. Like, pressing that button, you get a choice. You get to go to the floor of fear. You get to go to the floor of faith. You get to go to the floor of fun. You get to choose your destination, but you have to do the work involved, guys. All right, so that is your guys' twin flame reading for February Valentine's Day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it made sense. I hope it gives you guys hope. I think that you guys can do this work and you can make it work. It's just a little bit more work than some of the other groups. It takes a real strong person to have been what you guys have been through already and then arrive at this situation. All right, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, leave comments, and let me know what group you were in if it resonated. Please hit the subscription bell if you enjoyed the reading, and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you enjoyed the reading. That way you'll be notified anytime I go live again or I do another reading. Let me know if you like these twin flame readings. I can continue to do them. Or if you have any other ideas of what you would like to see, please go like my Facebook business page. You can message me for private readings. And I hope this helps you guys. I look forward to doing more in the future, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye. Take care.